Good morning, student. Today is our second lecture, and the topic is Lower Cryptogram. Here, this is our first chapter, Introduction to Plant Kingdom, and in this chapter, we will learn about the Lower Cryptogram. What is meant by Lower Cryptogram? Let us see one by one. What is meant by Lower Cryptogram? Lower Cryptogram means the plant that having a thalloid plant body. Thalloid, that means the thallus, plant body made up from the thallus, that is known as the thalloid plant body. That plant body does not differentiate into the root, stem and leaves. Only thread-like structure, and from that thread-like structure the plant body is made. That is known as the thalloid plant body, and that thalloid plant body does not having the root, stem and leaves. Another character is it includes the different groups, that is nothing but the algae, fungi, lichen and bryophyte. These all four groups or plants, they are in the Lower Cryptogam. Let us see one by one the different characteristic of the different plant group. Algae. There are the different characters of the algae. What is algae? Algae, mostly it is a primitive organism or primitive plant, and these plant are the microscopic or macroscopic, and they does not having the flower, because these plant are included in the cryptogamic plant. Cryptogamic means the plant they does not having the flowers. Okay, that means the flowerless. And the structure or the plant body, that plant body may be the microscopic or macroscopic. These are the first character of the algae. Second one is the multicellular plant body. Here the algae having made up from the multiple cell or more than one cell, so it is known as the multicellular. Our body is also made up from the multiple cell, and we are also multicellular organism. Here the algae is also multicellular organism, and multicellular plant body may be the simple, but it is without the root, stem and leaves. That is known as the thallus. And in the higher cryptogam, plant body possesses tissue system and vascular strand. Here cryptogamic plant, this is the cryptogamic plant, but this cryptogamic plant having the tissue system, that is another important character, tissue system. And in some cases they does not having they are the in that the majority of plant have the chlorophyll. Majority of the plant, because chlorophyll pigment, it is the important factor or important part of the algae, and in algae majority of the plant having the chlorophyll pigment. So mode of nutrition, that is automatically autotrophic. The plant which having the chlorophyll pigment, they produces their own food material, so they are the autotrophic organism. They produces their own food material. A very few member like the fungi and bacteria have a heteroscopic mode of nutrition, and as they lack the chlorophyll pigment in some cases, not in the algae but in the fungi and bacteria, they are also in lower cryptogam. And these lower cryptogamic groups, they having the heterotrophic, they does not produces their own food material, they are totally depend for food on the another organism, so they are known as the heterotrophic. And the mode of nutrition of fungi and bacteria, they are the heterotrophic mode. As why? Because they does not having the chlorophyll pigment. Algae having the chlorophyll pigment, and fungi and bacteria, they does not having the chlorophyll pigment, hence algae is autotrophic. Next one is the algae are usually aquatic animal. Okay, they either found in the fresh water or in marine water, or some are in terrestrial form also. Some algae are found, but where there is a water is there, so they are known as the aquatic, because they present in the water, fresh water, marine or salty water, or in the terrestrial habit, but that terrestrial habit having the water in sufficient amount. Next one is the algae are photoautotroph. Okay, it is another important character. Photon means light. Autotroph means they produces their own food material. Organism, they produces their own food material in presence of photon or light. They are known as the photoautotrophs, and these algae are all plant, they are the photoautotroph. All the green plant, they are the photoautotroph because in presence of light and chlorophyll pigment, they produces their own food material, so they are known as the photoautotroph. Okay, next one is the store food material. Here they store food material in the form of starch. In algae, in photosynthesis, they accumulate the carbohydrate, and excess amount of food material or carbohydrate, they are converted or stored in the form of starch. This is another important character of algae. Next one is that they reproduce either by three ways. First one is the vegetative, asexual, or sexual method. These are the three methods, and with the help of these three methods, they produces or reproduces new algae or new individual. Vegetative, that means with the help of vegetative part, that is nothing but the thallus. Thallus is breakdown, and or from any vegetative part, the new organism can be grown. Asexual, some asexual spore can be grown on the algae, and with the help of that asexual spore, the new algae can be born. Sexual method, male and female gametes are there, and with the help of the mating of that male and female sex organ, the new individual can be produced. That is known as the sexual method. These are the three methods. Next one is the vegetative reproduction by fragmentation or by hormogonia. Let us see here. Vegetative reproduction of two type. Fragmentation, that means if thallus of algae is break down or cut off into two parts, that is known as the fragmentation. These two parts are grown into new algae, that is known as the fragmentation. And hormogonia, it is the vegetative part which is arise on the thalloid plant body of the algae, and from that hormogonia, the new algae can be born. That is known as the hormogonia. Second one is they produces asexual spore. That asexual spore are nothing but the zoospore, aplanospore, hypanospore, akinets, and azygospore. These all are the asexual spore which is born on the different algae. Some algae produces the zoospore, some are the hypanospore, some are the azygospore, and this asexual spore further develop into the new algae. That is known as the asexual reproduction. And in sexual method, isogamous or oogamous type. Male and in isogamous sexual reproduction, male and female gamete, they are same in structure. Iso means same, gamous means gametes. Iso same, gamous gametes. That gametes are same in the characteristic and shape also, so they are known as the isogamous. And oogamous condition, here female sex organ, it is much larger than that of the male sex organ, so it is known as the oogamous type. In this way, these are the three sexual method, and in the with the help of this sexual method, the algae can be reproduction. These are the main characteristic of the algae. Okay, this is about the algae or general characteristic of the algae. Here next group is the fungi. Let us see, it is also a very huge group. Here there are about the 1 lakh species of the fungi, and that included about the 13,500 to 17,000 species of the lichen are also present in the fungi. Okay, actually lichen is another group in the further division, but here in the fungi it is included because it is the part of algae and fungi. So here it is the described here 13,000 lichens or 13 to 17,000 lichen species are also included here. Fungi, these fungi, as we know as the mushroom, or Marathi bhuchatra, we said that bhuchatra, and that mushroom or that fungi may be free living as seen, free living as well as those associated with the living organism, parasites, and symbiotic condition. Here in lichen they are having the symbiotic condition. Okay, symbiotic condition, that means fungi is associated with the algae and they does not harmful to each other, that is known as the symbiotic condition. But in some cases some fungi they are the parasitic mode. Okay, some fungi they are the parasitic, that means they are totally depend on food for other organism. All that fungi are known as the parasites. Okay, let us see the characteristic important feature of the fungi. Here first character is the these are non-chlorophyllous plant. Okay, algae is the chlorophyllous plant and fungi is the non-chlorophyllous plant. That means they does not having the chlorophyll pigment. As they does not having the chlorophyll pigment, they does not produces their own food material. That means they are the heterotrophic in mode of nutrition. Okay, they does not produces they does not having the autotroph. They does not autotroph, they are the heterotroph. Plant body is very simple, cellular or mycelial, megasporic or microscopic. Megascopic or microscopic. Plant body simple, cellular, made up from the cell, and or the mycelia. Mycelia is nothing but the thread like structure, like the algae, filament like structure, that is known as the mycelia. And that plant body may be the megasporic, megascopic or microscopic. Some fungi they are found only in the microscope, so they are known as the, or they are see under the microscope, so they are known as the microscopic. And some they are seen with the help of eyes, so they are known as the megascopic. These are the two forms. Next one is the hyphae. They are septate or non-septate. Okay, septa, it is nothing but the intercept between the two cells, that is known as the septa. Okay, non-septate they are the continuous, and septate they are having the different septa in them. Septa is nothing but the division. Okay, and that septate, that means that hyphae, that filament, they are the septate or non-septate. These are the two characteristic of the fungi. Next one is the cell are the eukaryotic with cell wall composed of chitin or fungal cellulose. Okay, mostly fungi are the made up from the eukaryotic cell. Okay, and the cell wall of the fungi that is made up from the chitin. Chitin is a chemical material or chemical composite. With the help of that cell wall of the fungi are made up. In some cases they are made up from the fungal cellulose. Okay, they may be the made up from chitin or it is also known as the chitin. Okay, chitin, chitin, these are the both pronunciation. Fungal cellulose, another chemical, and from that cellulose the cell wall of the fungi are made. Next one is the mode of nutrition. As we know that they are non-chlorophyllous, so they are the heterotrophic. And that heterotrophic organism, they are again divided into saprophytic or parasitic. Saprophytic, they depend for food on the dead organism. Okay, they are known as the saprophyte organism. They are depend for food on dead organism. They are known as the saprophyte. And parasite, they are depend for food on the other living organism. They are known as the parasitic. These fungi may be the saprophytic or parasitic. Okay, next one is the stored food. Stored food material in the form of glycogen or oil drop. As they consume the food from other organism, and excess amount of the food material are stored in the form of glycogen or in the form of oil drop. That is the another important characteristic of the fungi. Okay, next one is the reproduction. asexual reproduction, it is very common in the fungi, and it takes place by the formation of various kind of spores such as the aplanospore, zoospore, chlamydospore, udia and conidia. Okay, these all are the asexual spore, form of asexual spore, and different fungi having these different asexual spores, and these asexual spore produces into the new fungi. Okay, next one is the sex organ. Or sex organ, they are reduced or mostly it is the absent. Okay, here sex organ, they are reduced or absent, and in true fungi the male sex organ is known as the antheridium. Okay, if that fungi is the true fungi. Okay, and in that true fungi, that sex organ is known as the antheridia, which male sex organ is known as the antheridia and female sex organ is known as the oogonium or ascogonium. Oogonium or ascogonium, female sex organ, and male sex organ antheridia. Okay, these are the, if present, in most of the cases they are reduced or absent, but if present, then male is known as the antheridia, female is known as the oogonium or ascogonium. Next one is the zygote. Zygote does not develop into the embryo. Okay, sexual reproduction is there, but they produces zygote, but further that zygote does not develop into the embryo. It divides mitotically. We know that the meiosis and mitosis. Okay, with the help of mitosis, meiotically it meiotic or meiosis, and develops the sexual spore known as the meiospore or ascospore or basidospore. Okay, from zygote directly meiospore, ascospore or basidospore are formed by the meiotically or by the meiosis. Okay, and further that basidospore, ascospore or meiospores, they are developed into the new fungi. Okay, this is the about the sexual reproduction. Here these are the different example of the fungi: Rhizopus, Penicillium, yeast, Morcellia, Agaricus. Agaricus is the mushroom. Puccinia, it is a fungus mostly grown on the wheat. Puccinia graminis triticale, Ustilago and Lycoperdon. These are the different examples of the fungi. Let us see third important group, that is nothing but the lichen. As we know that what is meant by algae and what is meant by fungi. These two organisms combine together and form another organism, and that organism is known as the lichens. Okay, it is the composition or it is the combination of algae and fungi. Simply, it is the combination of the algae and fungi that is known as the lichens. Okay, let us see. Lichen are composite organism consisting of the mycobiont and living phycobiont, and both lead to symbiotic life. As we know that the myco, what is meant by myco? It is the fungi. Biont, mycobiont means it is the branch of the fungi, or study of fungi are undertaken into this branch, mycology. Okay, myco means fungi, logy means study, and mycobiont is nothing but the fungal partner. Mycobiont, fungal partner, it is the non-living. And second one is the phycobiont. Phycology, another branch of botany, and that is in that branch study of algae is undertaken. Phycon, algae, and logy means study. Phycology, and phycobiont means the algal member. Mycobiont, fungal member, phycobiont, algal member. They come together and form the lichen. Both lead to symbiotic life. Again, symbiotic, that means they does not harmful to each other. So that is known as the symbiotic association or symbiotic life. Here, phycobiont are from algal or cyanobacterial genera. Okay, and mycobiont, they are exclusively from Ascomycotina or Basidiomycotina. Okay, these are the different fungal group, Asco and Basidiomycotina. These two group. There are the 5 group in the fungi. There are the 5 group of the fungi, out of which these 2 group are included in the lichen. Okay, next one is the, let us see the important character. Lichen are plant in which algal and fungal member are living symbiotically. They are living together without harmful to the each other. Okay, second one is the, here as we know that the fungi, they are parasitic. Okay, they are totally depend for the other organism for food. Okay, and they different fungal diseases are there on the plant, but here in lichen the fungi are grown on the algae, but that fungi does not harmful to the algae. That fungi are, they are associated with each other. How? Here the algal member, they are having the chlorophyll pigment, and with the help of that chlorophyll pigment and light, they produces their own food material, and that food material are given to the fungal partner. And beside that, that fungal partner absorb the water and nutrient from the substratum and given to the algae. In this way, they are grown together without harmful to each other. That association is known as the symbiotic association. Okay. Next one is the algal member are known as the phycobiont, as we know, and fungal member are known as the mycobiont. Algal member are mainly unicellular and form the chlorophyce or cyanophyce member. As we note, the fungal member having the 2 group, Basidiomycete or Ascomycete. Likewise, algal member having also 2 group, chlorophyce or cyanophyce. They are included in the lichen. These 2 group are only included in the lichen, chlorophyce and cyanophyce, and in fungi, Basidiomycete and Ascomycete. Okay, these group are associated with each other and form a lichen. Next one is the morphologically lichen are classified into the 3 type. Morphologically as they see. Okay, and or the morphology with the help with the morphological structure, they are divided into the 3 type. First one is the crustose lichen, second foliose, third one is the fruticose lichen. How? It is morphologically like crustose, foliose and fructose. Crustose means crust like, crust means soil like. Crustose, soil like. Foliose means the leaf like, and fruticose means fruit like. In this way, morphologically they are of these 3 form. Crustose means soil like, crust like, foliose leaf like, and fruticose fruit like. So on the basis of these morphological character, they are divided into these 3 groups. Reproduction. Here 2 type of reproduction are found in the lichen: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is by the production of the sordia, that is the roundio of algal cell surrounded by the fungal hyphae. Okay, it is again combination of the algal and the fungal parts. That is nothing but the it is this at the central part, algal cell is there, and it is surrounded by the fungal hyphae, that is known as sordia. Asexual spore, and with the help of that sordia, the new lichen can be formed. That is the asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, it is observed only in the fungal member, not in the algal member producing sexual spore. They produces the sexual spore, fungal partner or fungal member in the special organ group only in a cup-shaped structure known as the apothecia. Apothecia is nothing but the cup-like body, and in that cup-like body the sexual spore can be arises only in the fungal member, and further that fungal member are grown into the lichen. There are the different example of the lichen. For example, Parmelia, Hemotoma, Graphis, Usnea, Cladonia. These are the different example of the lichens. These are also asked in the examination, the different examples of the lichens for 1 mark. Here, this is the last group, that is nothing but the bryophyte. Bryophyte generally form a natural group where the common plant body is gametophytic. Common plant body, and that is the gametophyte. Again, as we know that the gameto means gamete, phyte means plant. That means that plant produces the gametes. That is known as the gametophytic plant body. It is a natural group. They represent a phase in the evolution when plant migrated from water to land. Here, bryophytic plant, most of the bryophytic plant, they are the land or terrestrial plant. As we know that we are started from the algae. Algae, they are found in the water or they are the aquatic. And here, bryophytic, they are the terrestrial plant. And in this way, the evolution of the plant is there from water to the land. They are migrated from water to the land. Water is essential for the completion of their life cycle. Is they are land plant, but till they need water, and that water for what purpose? For essential for completion of their life cycle, and they are called as the amphibian of plant kingdom, because sexual reproduction takes place by the in presence of water. Okay, that means for the completion of life cycle they require the water, and without water they does not complete their life cycle, and they are grown in the land habitat, and for completion of the life cycle they also require the water. So they require both land as well as the water, so they are known as the plant amphibians. Okay, amphibian. As we know that the frog is an amphibious animal because they are living in both on land and in the water also. So they are frog is amphibious animal. Like this, bryophyte is also amphibian plant. Okay, this is the one of the important character of the bryophyte. Next one is this is the characteristic of the bryophyte. Plant body is thalloid, made up from the thallus, differentiated into root-like structure. Let us see here. In algae and fungi, they are the thalloid plant body. They does not having the root, leaves and stem. But in the bryophytic plant, they are differentiated into root-like. They are not root, but root-like structure, that is known as the rhizoids, and prostrate or erect, bearing the green leafy lobes. That means in the evolution from thalloid plant body, it is converted into the root-like and leaf-like structure. So it is another important part in the evolution of the plant, that is the bryophyte. And here root-like but not root, it is known as the rhizoid, and leafy lobes are present in the plant body, but till the plant body is known as the thalloid. Okay. Next, plant body is gametophytic, developing multicellular sex organ. Okay. Male sex organ is known as the antheridium, and female sex organ is known as the archegonia. Okay. This is the important character of the algae. Next one is the vascular tissue. They are totally absent, so known as the non-vascular cryptogam. Bryophyte is the non-vascular, that means vascular tissue is absent, and cryptogam, they does not produces the flowers, so they are known as the cryptogams, non-vascular cryptogams. Mode of nutrition, autotrophic. because they are having the chlorophyll pigment and they produces their own food material, so they are known as the autotrophic plant. Water is necessary for fertilization. Without water, fertilization does not take place. So hence they are known as the amphibian, because for completion of the life cycle they require water for this stage of fertilization. So water is necessary for fertilization and it is of oogamous type. As we know that the oogamous female sex organ, it is much larger than that of the male sex organ, and such type of reproduction is known as the oogamous type. Next one is the zygote. After fertilization, zygote is formed and that zygote remains on gametophytic thallus and develops into the sporophytic plant body. Okay, two generations are there, gametophytic and sporophytic. Okay, and zygote remains on the gametophytic thallus. Okay, they are totally depend for food on the gametophytic thallus, and further that zygote is developed into the sporophytic plant body, and after that they produces their own food material. Sporophyte is with foot, seta and capsule, or some time with only capsule. Plant body is there, thalloid plant body is there, and that sporophyte having foot like structure, seta and capsule, circular capsule is there. That is known as the sporophyte. That is the structure of sporophyte. It is total or partially parasite on the gametophyte. Let us see here. That sporophyte in initial stage, they are depend for food on the gametophytic plant body. Plant life cycle shows the distinct alternation of generation. As we know that the first one is the gametophytic generation, and further after gametophytic generation completed, there are sporophytic generation. Further, sporophytic plant body again produces the spore, and that spore again produces the gametophytic plant body. Okay, so this is the alternation of generation. Gametophytic first one is the gametophytic generation, second one is the sporophytic generation, and they are alternate to each other. That is known as the alternation of generation of bryophyte. Next one is the life cycle is with dominant gametophytic phase, so known as the haplontic life cycle. Life cycle with dominant gametophytic. Here two phases are there. First one is gametophytic, second one is the sporophytic. But gametophyte is dominant over the sporophyte, so that is known as the haplontic life cycle. There are the different example of the bryophyte. They are the Rixia, Anthoceras, Funaria and Polysaccharum, Markensia. Okay, these are the different examples of the bryophyte. In this way, these are the four groups, and that groups are nothing but the algae. Second one is the fungi, third one is the lichen, and fourth one is the bryophyte. These four groups, they are in the lower cryptogams. Okay, I think all you are understand about the lower cryptogam. In next lecture we will learn about the higher cryptogam. Thank you very much.